Hi, everybody. In today's episode, we're going to try and cover the basic essentials of practical aspects of interior design for aspiring design professionals and students. I want to start by saying the most basic requirement for every one of you is to have certain tools always in your possession throughout your professional career. I strongly suggest the discipline be maintained in in this uh, in this effort. You have to carry your own pencil, your own tape, and your own scale. These three essentials you should not be seen without. Phones and devices are bonuses, and they may be the current methodology by which we communicate ourselves to clients and contractors alike. But these three basic elements, they don't depend on Wi-Fi, internet, battery, and they actually have a very, very strong connect with the mind. So I suggest heavily that you must use these three tools throughout your career. Uh, I might be approximately 30 years down, and I still have mine handy. And I suggest the same for all of you. So, to begin with, um, we talk about plans, but the most important part of a plan, um, which absolutely cannot be diluted in any shape or form, is the survey and the data that the survey throws up. Uh, to begin to begin any good project, you have to have super detailed surveys showing every single RCC member, showing all existing site levels. You have to have the lift threshold levels. You have to have all your beam depths completely spot on. You may use contractors to help you create levels on site, level markers on site. Also to create right angular discussions on site. If you feel that visually something is out of plumb or out of right angle, you must use a contractor who will give you a line marking on site and tell you how much out a certain wall is or a certain window is. All of these informations that you can download into your survey and demarcate them perfectly will assist you in overcoming those hurdles and not go on preparing drawings upon drawings, layer upon layer, to only find out later on that when you start work on site, you've had to go back to zero and start all your drawings all over again, because you will have to correct your drawing. Verbal instruction on site is a no-no. Everything that you speak on your site has to be at the least a hand sketch signed and delivered to the contractor by you. Client interface is a separate thing. The client is not concerned with 2 inches smaller room or 3 inches out wall. They are not concerned with that when you're constructing or executing your job. It's your contracting team that is to be given this correct communication. So I cannot stress enough on the importance of the first step of your project, which is the survey. Survey must be absolutely 100% accurate. Now, when you get down to planning, you have to have a client's brief, and you have to have complete clarity on the basic requirements of the client. Those have to be met along with certain parameters that you need to install into the project, which the client will not tell you. They'll always miss out a laundry room. They'll always miss out on distribution board spaces. They don't have to know all these things. Those are elements that you have to have a fundamental basic list in every type of project of things that you will need to incorporate in the drawing, no matter what the client says about his requirements. So, once you have your survey demarcated, you can try your best to only plan walls above beams to keep the bathroom stacks in harmony with the rest of the apartment block. Keep your ducts in place. Don't try ever to shift a duct. Don't try to digest a duct into your interior design layout plan, even if your client requests you to increase or enhance his spaces. These things should never be done. If the building has a good facade or a rhythmic facade or a harmonious facade, please try your best not to disturb it by changing the locations of your windows, etc. The next point I'd like to cover is before you throw pencil on paper, from your survey, what would be excellent to do would be to visit the site physically and draw from the site all the main vistas that you'd like to cover while sitting on your bed or your living room couch, or what you'll see from each window, and choose the side of your main viewing. This exercise is really, really helpful because you very often land up planning the head of the bed on the wrong side, which is not offering you the best possible views. Luckily for us in Mumbai, at least, we have uh, quite a, quite a lot of our projects have glimpses of the ocean, glimpses of trees, parks, etc. Not everything is just building upon building. And so this exercise actually helps you to get a first cut plan, which is already beneficial from the client's design experience perspective. The next subject that I'd like to hit upon is your plan ergonomics cannot be compromised. You will not always be fortunate with large sized bedrooms, large sized living rooms, and kitchens. So there has to be in your mind a certain basic planning ergonomic of um, spatial flow. If your corridors, um, if your furniture is not offering enough movement space, then it needs to be reworked, recalibrated until such time that you are able to walk around and experience all the spaces correctly in your house. It's a large challenge to get daylight into corridors. Very often you'll end up not having enough daylight falling into corridors, and then there have to be a perpetual light which is placed on the corridor ceiling, which gives you a cove lighting or a diffuse lighting to make it feel like it's daylit. Uh, this, according to me, is a failure in the plan, and one has to try and break the row of bedrooms very often with a family room of some sort or a flexi room offering some amount of glass to let some light flow into longer corridors. So, general point, try to make sure that daylight reaches all parts of your project. This one factor alone will make your project feel nicer, and the red flag is on basic hallways and bedroom corridors. The next point I'd like to draw upon is the importance of services thought process. Conceptually, you might have a MEP consultant who can tell you how to do your plumbing, electricals, and air conditioning. The the big item here is air conditioning. Everybody will need air conditioning, and um, even the simplest of machines need thought on routing of their copper pipings and drainages. So in the MEP section, whereas electricals and automation might be standard, easy, and kind of similar on every project. It's also the same with plumbing. Like plumbing in a bathroom is simple. There'll be a 3-point bathroom or a 4-point bathroom, and you'll manage the plumbing within the bathroom. It's the air conditioning that is super dynamic. this needs to be something that y'all have to have the knowledge of, have the grip of every single type of machine that's available in the air conditioning world. And you'll have to pick according to budget, according to availability of size. You'll have to design how you want the HVAC to be done. This is really important because literally this will define your elevational spaces. So once you've finished with your planning exercise, the immediate simultaneous, almost simultaneous process should be to attach yourself into the HVAC exercise. Now, one thing I want to reverse a little bit upon is when you're doing your main plan proposal, I would advise you to make sure that all your sunken portions are marked and all your beams are on during your proposed interior layout. So very often what happens is clients say that I'd like to make my 4 BHK into a 3 BHK. And I'll take away this bathroom and make my bedroom bigger. But there exactly is your alarm. You'll find some kind of a beam in the ceiling, which if it's not on when you're doing the layout, you'll not know that you have to deal with a beam into your bedroom, which the builder did not design, which your client made you design, or you decided to propose this. So my advice is only keep your layer of the beam and the sunken portions always on when you're proposing the plan. And immediately when you're sending out these kind of plans, make sure that you've informed your client on day one that this is going to have a 2-level ceiling, how you design it, how you transition from low to high, or maybe you drop everything down and you create a massive cutout over the bed or over the dining, whatever the case may be. That is something that is in your hands and for the client to understand. But this is a common mistake that happens where clients don't imagine that there's going to be a beam in their room, and actually it's quite a nasty shock for them when they're seeing their design and suddenly they're seeing a low ceiling on part of the room. It's not always easy to handle and it's not always attractive. So on the services point, I cannot emphasize enough that the need is to know your air conditioning very, very well. Also, from that subject, you'll need to understand a gravitational flow of water for the drainage of the air conditioning. And the very, very important aspect of this is if you're designing, which a lot of high-end clients would expect you to do, if you're designing the system to be completely hidden with the use of indoor units which are ductable, then you'll have to think of trapdoors. Trapdoors are always a problem for interior design. There's a need for you to plan the trapdoor in such a way that you think of the maintenance crew, how he's going to open the ladder, what tools are going to fall from his hands when he's working. Also, when he's not there, there's always a chance of the machine having a leakage. If the drainage is choked or if the filter is choked, there's always situations where we have leakage. So the trapdoor planning has to be something where a ladder can be opened and a professional can come and service it efficiently without damaging your expensive linen on the bed or an expensive equipment like a TV, or in your bathroom, in the counter or the basin of the counter should not be damaged by anything that's falling there. So try to do this planning in a way that it's in areas where it's open below.